Julius Robert Oppenheimer, a name that would echo through the annals of history, synonymous with both unparalleled genius and the harrowing power of destruction. A name synonymous with genius, with brilliance, with destruction. But before he became the father of the atomic bomb, he was simply Robert, a boy with an insatiable curiosity and a mind that seemed to grasp the very fabric of the universe.
Born in 1904 into a wealthy New York family, Oppenheimer's life was marked by privilege and intellectual prowess. His father, a successful textile importer, and his mother, an artist, provided a nurturing environment that fostered his early love for learning. He devoured knowledge, excelling in languages, literature, and science. By the age of 12, he was already writing to famous geologists, discussing the nature of minerals. His voracious appetite for knowledge knew no bounds, and he was often found buried in books, exploring the vast realms of human understanding. He graduated summa cum laude from Harvard in 3 years. His time at Harvard was marked by a relentless pursuit of excellence. He studied under some of the greatest minds of his time, absorbing their wisdom and pushing the boundaries of his own intellect. He was a young man on fire, destined for greatness. His professors recognized his potential, often remarking on his extraordinary ability to grasp complex concepts with ease. He was not just a student, he was a prodigy, a beacon of brilliance in the academic world.
Oppenheimer's journey led him to Europe, to the epicenter of theoretical physics. It was here that he would immerse himself in the cutting-edge research that would define his career. He studied under giants like Niels Bohr and Max Born. These luminaries of science saw in Oppenheimer a kindred spirit, a young man whose intellect and passion matched their own. Under their tutelage, he delved deeper into the mysteries of the universe. He delved into the mysteries of quantum mechanics. The world of subatomic particles, with its strange and counterintuitive rules, fascinated him. He spent countless hours in the lab, probing the very foundations of reality. His mind, a crucible of ideas, forged groundbreaking theories. He was not content with merely understanding the work of others. He sought to push the boundaries of what was known, to venture into uncharted territories of science. He was a rising star, radiating brilliance in the scientific community. His peers and mentors alike recognized his contributions, and he quickly became a respected figure in the world of physics.
But beneath the surface, a darkness brewed. The pressures of his work, the weight of his own expectations, and the looming specter of global conflict began to take their toll. Oppenheimer was a complex soul, plagued by self-doubt and existential angst. Despite his outward success, he often questioned his own worth and the implications of his work. He grappled with the philosophical implications of his work. The more he understood about the universe, the more he questioned the nature of reality and his place within it. He questioned the nature of reality. The deeper he delved into the mysteries of the atom, the more he pondered the ethical and moral responsibilities that came with such knowledge. He felt the weight of responsibility that came with unlocking the secrets of the atom. The potential for both creation and destruction lay in his hands, and the burden of that knowledge weighed heavily on his soul. The world, however, remained oblivious. As he wrestled with these profound questions, the world around him continued on, unaware of the seismic shifts that were about to occur. They saw only the genius, the prodigy, on the cusp of revolutionizing science. To the outside world, he was a brilliant mind, a man destined to change the course of history. They were blind to the turmoil within. The sleepless nights, the endless questions, the fear of what his discoveries might unleash. They were unprepared for the destructive potential that Oppenheimer would unleash upon the world. The atomic bomb, a product of his genius, would forever alter the course of human history, a testament to both the heights of human achievement and the depths of its capacity for destruction.
The year was 1939. War engulfed Europe. The continent was a battleground, with nations clashing in a conflict that seemed to have no end. The skies were darkened by the smoke of countless battles, and the ground shook with the thunder of artillery. The specter of Nazi Germany loomed large, threatening to plunge the world into darkness. The Nazi regime, with its aggressive expansion and brutal tactics, cast a long shadow over Europe. The fear of their technological advancements and military prowess was palpable. In the United States, whispers of a terrifying new weapon reached the ears of government officials: the atomic bomb. A weapon that could potentially end the war, but at a cost that was unimaginable. The stakes were higher than ever before, a weapon of unimaginable power. The concept of harnessing the energy of the atom was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. It promised a new era of warfare, one that could bring about unprecedented destruction.
The weight of the world fell upon the shoulders of J. Robert Oppenheimer. A man of immense intellect and profound responsibility, he was chosen to lead this monumental task. The burden he carried was not just the creation of a weapon, but the potential fate of humanity. A theoretical physicist thrust into the role of a wartime leader. Oppenheimer was known for his brilliance in the field of quantum mechanics, but now he had to navigate the complexities of military strategy and leadership. He was tasked with the impossible, to build the atomic bomb before it fell into the wrong hands. The race was on and the pressure was immense. Every decision, every calculation carried the weight of the world. Thus began the Manhattan Project, a top-secret endeavor that would change the course of history. The project brought together the greatest minds in science, all working towards a common goal. The secrecy surrounding the project was paramount, as the stakes were too high for any leaks.
Oppenheimer, the reluctant leader, rose to the challenge. Despite his initial reservations, he understood the gravity of the situation and the necessity of his role. He became the driving force behind the project, inspiring those around him with his dedication and vision. He assembled a team of brilliant minds, the brightest scientific minds in the world. Physicists, chemists, engineers, and mathematicians all came together, united by a common purpose. Their collaboration was unprecedented, and their combined expertise was formidable. They toiled in secrecy, racing against time, driven by the knowledge that the fate of the world hung in the balance. The pressure was immense, the stakes impossibly high. Every experiment, every test, brought them closer to their goal, but also closer to the realization of the weapon's destructive potential.
Oppenheimer, fueled by a sense of duty and a chilling awareness of the weapon's potential, pushed his team relentlessly. He knew that failure was not an option, and he drove his team to their limits, demanding excellence at every turn. He became a demanding taskmaster, a relentless force driving the project forward. His leadership style was intense, and he expected nothing less than perfection from his team. The pressure was immense, but so was the sense of purpose. He was consumed by the task, his brilliance burning brighter than ever. The project became his life, and he poured every ounce of his intellect and energy into it. But with this brilliance came a growing darkness, a realization of the moral implications of their work. But the darkness within him grew as well. The weight of what they were creating, the potential for destruction, weighed heavily on his conscience. He knew that they were on the brink of a new era, one that could bring about both great progress and unimaginable devastation. The New Mexico Desert, July 16, 1945, a date that would forever alter the course of human history. The sun had not yet risen, and the desert was cloaked in a pre-dawn stillness, a silence that belied the monumental event about to unfold. The air crackled with anticipation and dread. Scientists, engineers, and military personnel, all part of the top-secret Manhattan Project, gathered with bated breath. They had labored in secrecy, driven by the urgent need to end a devastating world war. The culmination of years of tireless work, of sleepless nights and relentless pressure, was about to be unleashed. These men and women had poured their intellect, their energy, and their very souls into this project, knowing that failure was not an option. The first atomic bomb, codenamed Gadget, stood ready. It was a complex and untested device, a marvel of engineering and physics, assembled with painstaking precision. Every component, every wire, every ounce of explosive material had been meticulously crafted and positioned.
Oppenheimer, his face etched with tension, gave the final order. The weight of responsibility bore heavily on his shoulders. He knew that this test was more than just a scientific experiment. It was a gamble with the very fabric of nature. The countdown echoed through the desolate landscape. Each second seemed to stretch into eternity. Then the world exploded. A searing light, brighter than 1,000 suns, illuminated the desert. The ground shook with a force that seemed to rend the earth itself. A blinding flash, a deafening roar, a mushroom cloud reaching toward the heavens. The sheer magnitude of the explosion was beyond comprehension. It was a moment of both awe and terror, a demonstration of humanity's newfound power to unleash the forces of the universe. The desert floor, scorched and melted, bore witness to the awesome power unleashed. The sand had turned to glass, and the landscape was forever altered. This was ground zero, the birthplace of the atomic age.
A wave of conflicting emotions washed over Oppenheimer. He had achieved what many thought impossible, but at what cost? The implications of his work weighed heavily on his mind. Relief, horror, triumph, guilt. These emotions swirled within him, each vying for dominance. He had unlocked a Pandora's box, and there was no turning back. He had done it. He had unlocked the secrets of the atom, forged a weapon capable of unimaginable destruction. The scientific achievement was monumental, but the moral and ethical ramifications were equally profound. But in that moment of triumph, a seed of doubt was sown. What had they unleashed upon the world? The power to end wars, yes, but also the power to annihilate entire cities, to bring about untold suffering. The words of the Bhagavad Gita, the Hindu scripture he had been studying, echoed in his mind. Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. These ancient words took on a new and terrifying significance in the light of the Trinity test. The enormity of what he had done, the power he had unleashed, began to dawn on him. The world had changed in an instant, and he was at the center of that change. The world would never be the same. The atomic age had begun, and with it came a new era of both hope and fear. The Trinity test was a turning point, a moment that defined the 20th century and beyond. The legacy of that fateful day continues to shape our world, a stark reminder of the dual-edged sword of scientific progress.